This is the best email marketing guide that you will need for your e-commerce brand. Let's get straight into this video. Let's get straight to the value. If you want to scale your Shopify store profitably, you need to have email marketing. This is something that's not really covered on YouTube. Not many people talk about it. Email marketing is one of the most important factors in actually scaling profitably. Without email marketing, you are missing out on a huge chunk of revenue for your store. Why is email important? Well, email is the highest leverage form of marketing, meaning the smallest amount of work with the largest impact, and also the smallest cost for largest result. So bear that in mind when you're thinking about email marketing. The amount of work you have to do for the amount of results that you get is really unbelievable, and there's not much you can do to get results as quick as email marketing in terms of revenue. You should be making 35% of your total store revenue through email marketing, if not more. If you are not doing 35%, any less than 30%, the alarm bells should be ringing. This can also go up to 50%, 55%. And the good thing about this revenue is it's much cheaper to acquire a customer than it is paid advertising. So it's not only a massive chunk of revenue, but the amount of money that you're paying for that revenue is very little. Now, the next thing is email is a highly personalized form of marketing that targets customers based on their shopping behavior. So if you have a big following on social media, you're restricted to the information that you post being seen by everybody. Whereas email marketing, that customer is seeing something based on their behavior on your site. For example, abandoning a checkout. So your messaging is very targeted towards that person. And you set them up once and they will generate consistent revenue for years. There's nothing more true than that. You're going to have to make some tests. You're going to have to make some tweaks. But when you set up your emails, they are ready to go and consistently generate income every month on month for years until you turn them off. Here's just a few more benefits: low cost, low time investments, more profitable ads, targeted messaging, much higher revenue, and increases lifetime value and conversion rate. If you don't like the sound of that, then I don't know why you're in e-commerce, to be honest with you. Absolutely massive. But how can you achieve results like this for your brand? That is what we are going to cover in today's video. And just a little backstory about me. I started my own e-commerce brand back in 2019. Started on the market stalls, took all that money, invested it into my own e-commerce brand, and actually learned e-com the bootstrapping way all by myself. Didn't have any experience, didn't know anybody, but managed to scale it to over a couple mil in revenue. And a lot of that was actually down to email marketing. This is why I'm so strong about email marketing. This is why you can hear the passion in my voice, is because when I discovered this thing, it actually changed my business forever. And I scaled so much easier with it. That's why I'm so passionate about it. And look, this is the issue that I had before email. I couldn't scale, right? I didn't have enough budget for paid advertising. I had a little amount of cash. I was spending a lot of money on stock. I was just a young kid. I didn't have the cash, right? But I did have good organic traffic. That I did have. I did have that off social media, but not enough of them were buying. And I couldn't really figure out why. And my only focus was get more people to the website. So I was just focusing on getting more organic traffic. And whilst there is merit in that, you're actually ignoring some of the potential opportunities that you've got sat on your website. And look, I had email set up. If you'd have asked this kid here, this is when I'm just about growing my beard out. You can see now, full beard and all that. He's got about, that's like a 30%. That's a childish beard. So that's a young man right there. Anyway, he would have told you that email marketing didn't work. Now, the reason why he would have told you that email marketing didn't work, because he didn't have it set up properly, right? He didn't have the package set up. Now, the issue that I had was I didn't see enough revenue from it, so I just thought it didn't work. You know, I know it sounds foolish, it is foolish, but the fact is it wasn't set up properly, and that's the issue that I was having. That's why I wasn't making money with it. But I didn't really look into it. Now, when I figured out how to use email properly, effectively, right, I was able to spend more on paid ads. Now, because I was able to spend more on paid ads, I was able to make more money, making more profit, and making more sales altogether. So this was the restriction it was having. It wasn't just the sales through email, but it meant that I wasn't able to spend enough on paid advertising. So that cost was actually quite big, that it was costing me every single month. Now, my returning customer rate increased massively. People were coming back to shop again. I was able to target people who had previously shopped and get them to buy over and over again. So all of a sudden, not only was I was able to buy more custom through paid advertising, but I was actually able to retain more of those customers and retarget them again. And I spent less time marketing. I wasn't just focused on making content all day because I had all this marketing. It was automated. It was already set up. So I just made a few adjustments for half an hour a month, maybe. And it was able to make money every single month consistently and grow. And I started to scale profitably. And it was really a massive impact, in fact. That's where I started really seeing some real money, right? And look, this is what we're going to cover in today's video. The most important email flows you must activate to generate the most revenue quickly from your store. These are the ones that you're going to see the fastest results. This is why we're focusing on these. You will see results within a few days on these if you've got sufficient traffic. If you don't have them set up, you're going to have a good month after this video. Let's put it that way. We're going to cover the difference between nurture and direct response. This was a massive issue for me, especially in the early days. I didn't really understand the difference and my messaging wasn't catering to both of those things. And then we're going to go over how to segment your customers into groups most likely to purchase. Because this is a big mistake with email marketing. People just send out blast emails to the whole list. They haven't segmented characteristics about the customers and they're actually leaving a lot of money on the table. And it's also affecting the deliverability. And they're just not doing it properly. So that's going to be a big part of this video. The best practices to scale profitably with email marketing, just some of the gems that I've picked up over hundreds of thousands of pounds in ad spend. And what is A/B testing and how can you use it to optimize your emails and make more money? So here's a checklist that you need to get started. 1, you have a Klaviyo account set up and connected to Shopify. 2, your package allows you to send to your full email list. Check this in settings, billing, profiles, and emails. One thing to remember with email marketing, this is where I was messing up in the beginning. You have to pay to show to all of your profiles. So if you've got 1,000 profiles, you might have enough emails to send out, right? But if you don't pay for the amount of profiles on your list, a lot of them will not be getting your emails. So that is something to bear in mind and make sure that you check. But it's pretty easy to connect Shopify. So go ahead and do that if you haven't already. But you're going to need a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection. That's it. That's all you need, right? And now what you do not need is expert email design skills, thousands of dollars of budget to spend and complicated setups. These are not things that you need. This is not difficult to do. You'll be shocked how actually easy this is. Now, just something you need to understand with flows versus campaigns. Flows are automated, campaigns are manual, meaning a flow is something like an abandoned checkout. So that is going to be automated. You're going to make that and it's going to trigger from an action like an abandoned checkout, and that's going to send on automation. A campaign email is like a manual email that you send out. You can still schedule it to whenever you want, but that is something that you physically create and send it out. Now, the difference between these is a campaign is going to be like a one-off offer or a sale, and that's what you're going to target segments of your audience with. The flows is going to be based on customer habits, but both very important, and you have to know the difference between them, but very simple to understand. Now, the email flows that I recommend for fast results, these are the two essential, right? Abandoned checkout flow and the welcome flow. This is a non-negotiable for every e-commerce site, so you have to have those. Now, later down the line, you can get the abandoned cart flow, customer win back, customer thank you, browse abandonment, and post-purchase flow. I'm not saying those are not important, you should have those, but for the fastest results, you want to focus on the first two and then start building those out later down the line. But take a screenshot of that if you need to. I recommend you build all of those out. Now, the welcome flow, think of this as the door to your e-commerce ecosystem. This is what's stopping you from collecting that customer data. Now, the point of this email is to entice visitors to give you their email address in exchange for a discount. So this is the pop-up on a website. Now, if you want to know the reason why everyone offers 10% off, it's because it works. Don't be thinking 10% is not significant, people aren't going to be bothered. 10% works, believe me. Now, you need two things for this. You need a list and an email pop-up. Now, this is an example of the email pop-up. Now, this is off Fashion Nova. Look, this is a little bit too complex to what you need, right? You don't need to have your preferences for men, women, kids, whatever. You don't need to have this message in if you're just starting. Make it super simple, but the thing that I want to make clear in this is the instructions are clear. Just enter your email address. You've got to idiot-proof your whole website, right? You need to make your call to actions very clear on what you want people to do. Speak it out to them, write it down for them, make it super clear what you want them to do. Big call to action button here. And look, it's not just sign me up. It's I love saving money. Now, this is something that you want to test, right? You might put claim discount, get 10% off, get my discount. You've got to play with these, right? But don't be afraid to change this up. Don't just leave it as the boring, standard plain stuff, because you're just going to be seen like everybody else, right? And this is a very important part. You need the main offer that just screams, click me on the page. Yeah. So 40% off here. Get your entire order for 40% off. Just enter your email address. Can't be more simple than that, right? Show your discount in large. Show it first. Now, another thing to remember is you might want to change this color of this pop-up to stand out on your website. Maybe if you've got a white page, you might want it black or blue or whatever your brand colors are. Just try and make it stand out a little bit. Or even the call to action button, you might want to make that stand out a little bit. But look, you can test these over time and try and work from there. But you have to have a pop-up. Now, a step to take for this is you need to create a list within Klaviyo titled newsletter. Now, you want to, after that, head to the sign up form section in Klaviyo and create a simple form that aligns with your brand. Look, do not try and overcomplicate this and make some complicated design structure, right? The information being simple, clear and readable, telling the customer exactly what to do, having the offer crystal clear. That is the most important thing, not the design. Do not get caught up on the design. I know a lot of people do this, and what they end up doing is over-designing it to where it's not clear, or they're thinking about the design opposed to the information, and it's actually going to end up killing their conversions. So you do not have to be an expert, you do not need a web developer, you do not have to be a Photoshop artist. Just make it simple from Klaviyo's recommendations, super simple to set up. Get a competitor on the next screen, take some inspiration, yeah, that's all you have to do. Then what you're going to want to do is head to flows within Klaviyo and create a welcome series from the recommended options. Create the Klaviyo recommended options and build it out from there, but we're going to go over on a few practices on what you can do to make it highest converting. So the winning welcome flow. This is the first email. You do not want a time delay on this. The point of this email is to give the customer a discount straight away, because some customers are ready to purchase there and then, and they do not want to wait. You don't want to make them wait, right? Send this straight away. Clearly showcase the offer with the discount code if you're going to do one, and include a welcome message that aligns with your brand. Let's say, for example, you are a streetwear brand. You might want to say, "Yo fam," something like that. Don't be afraid to talk in your customer's lingo. If you're sounding too corporate, that's not how customers speak nowadays. People don't want to hear that. So just try and have a play around with this. But the main point of this email is just to deliver that discount straight away. That's all you want to do. Now, this is the second email. You want a 1 to 2 day time delay. And now you want to include a little backstory of your brand and the mission and how the idea came around. The point of this email is to get people invested in the story, movement, and you might be thinking, oh, movement sounds cringy, no one cares, like I'm selling socks, no one cares. Well, look, just try and make a story. I'm not saying a lie or make anything up, right? But just try and make a story. What's the reason you made them? Maybe you couldn't find socks and you were running and you had foot pain. I don't know. Make something up. People want a story. Or maybe the mission of your brand is for another reason. Maybe you've got a charity involved, or maybe you wanted to do it for your family. I don't know. Make a story. Get a story. Give people a backstory of your brand. You might want to show people how you are building it in the early days, maybe designing a product, or you just wanted some brand information. This is how people are going to get invested in your brand, and you're going to stand out from other people. And if you can really show that it's being built, this is a big mistake a lot of people make. They make an e-com brand and then they start trying to look like a big corporation, but they don't understand that their unique selling proposition is actually the fact that they're an independent brand owner doing it themselves. So that's the thing that you want to focus on. You don't want to try and focus with big dogs. You want to try and focus on the fact that you're a small independent business owner, and that's what you're showcasing within your brand. So very strong stuff when you get it right. Now, this is the third email, and you want this another 1 to 4 day time delay, and you just want to show some testimonials. Why do people love what you sell? Pictures of them in the products, reviews of the products. And look, I was dealing with a client the other day, and they said to me, they've got no testimonials. And I said, well, go get some testimonials then. That's your job. You can go on your customer list on Shopify, you can ring them on the phone, and you can say, hello, it's so-and-so from X brand, how are you enjoying the product, blah, blah, blah. Ask them questions. If you're having a good response, say, do you mind if I use that for a testimonial? Then you can use that, or ask them for a photo. You can go get the testimonials, you've just got to go and make it happen, right? But testimonials are very strong because it's a weapon of influence. People want to be seen, not to be the first person trying something, right? So if they can see that other people have tried something, enjoyed it before, it's very, very strong. One of the most effective, the strongest influence that you can do. So you want to be including testimonials within the welcome flow and within all emails. Really, you want to include some sort of testimonial or review because it's a very strong, persuasive selling point that you can use. Now, this is the fourth email. Again, another 1 to 4 day time delay. You want a discount, same email, discount reminder, but you want to use some urgency this time. So you want to be like, guys, the email is going to run out. The discount's running out. You need to use it soon. 6 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, whatever you want to use. Because the thing is, what you've got to remember is a lot of people are shopping on the phone. And now, what do people do when they're on the phone? They forget and they get distracted. So you just want to give them as many opportunities to purchase as possible, because some people will have signed up, seen the email, got the discount, but then the doorbell's rung. You see, so you want to just create as many opportunities to remind them of the purchase as possible. Also, you want to try answering the reasons for people not buying it in this email. So you might want to highlight the fact that the shipping time is 2 days. You might want to highlight the fact that you accept returns. You might want to highlight the fact that the material is X, Y, and Z. Try and think ahead of time. What are your main objections and what have you not focused on in previous parts of the funnel? And then try and show those to answer those objections, because you'll push quite a few people over the edge when you do that. So now that's set up, you've got the automations going, but how do you target a group of customers that are seconds away from buying? And how can you do this on a consistent basis? Look, this is just some stats that cannot be ignored. Almost 70% of shoppers abandon their carts. Like, think about how insane that is. Just go ask yourself if 10% more people made a purchase. If you ever want to see something that is going to make you unhappy, go on your Shopify dashboard and go check your abandoned checkouts. A lot of people abandon checkouts. And what do you think is easier, to convert someone who's never heard of you, a complete cold traffic, or someone who's made it all the way to the checkout? What do you think is the easiest to convert? Who would you rather show a message to first? If you are not showing these hot customers the correct information, they will simply not purchase. And when I say hot customers, I'm not saying physically attractive. I'm saying customers that have shown the highest purchase intent. They are the hottest form of customers that you can get. So look, you're going to target the hottest customers by making an abandoned checkout flow. You will not find a hotter customer than one that has left an abandoned checkout. Why? Because these people have shown the most intent in your business. And the best thing is, most of them just forgot. They need a simple reminder. A simple reminder. That's it. The only group that are hotter than this is a customer stood in front of you with cash in their hand wanting to buy something. They are the only people that should be served before this customer, because this is the hottest customer ever. Just think about somebody to add something to the cart and not only continue shopping, but get all the way to the checkout and not complete the purchase. But why do they do that? You've got to try and think, what are the reasons that those customers do that? And look, this is how you set it up. So you want to go to Klaviyo, flows, abandoned checkout, build out from the suggested flow. And we're going to go over the best practices on how to make this into a real money machine that it should be for your store. This is how you build a high converting abandoned checkout flow. Now, the point of this flow is to remind customers that they didn't complete the purchase or provide them with extra information, potentially stopping them buying. Just try display the type of info that you think a customer would need. So, for example, if you've been on a website before and you can't find the shipping time, well, that might be an issue to why a customer's not purchased, because you might need it for a certain date. Now, what you might want to do is just re-emphasize or test re-emphasizing the specific benefits of shopping with you, or show information like sizing, shipping times, customer testimonials, returns policy, or a simple reminder. Do not sleep on the simple reminder. right? People get distracted multiple times every single day. Just think about what people are doing when they're on the phone shopping. Next time you're out in public, go and watch someone what they're doing on the phone. They're on the phone at the bus stop. They're on the phone when they're watching TV. They're on the phone when they're cooking. They're on the phone when they're at the family table. All these things are opportunities for customers to shop, but also opportunities for customers to get distracted. People get distracted all the time, so send them a simple reminder. That's all you have to do. And one thing with this, do not be afraid to add multiple emails to this flow. They have shown interest, they've been to the checkout, they've entered their information, they want to hear from you. Do not think like you're bothering this customer. Send multiple emails. I used to be I didn't really want to send 5 emails in my flow, but now I send 5 emails. Because when you see how much the revenue does, you'll be wanting to do it as well, right? And they've signed up for it, okay? But you just got to make sure the messaging is different. Now, this is the winning abandoned checkout flow structure from £476,000 ad spend. So this is what I ended up optimizing to. So the first email would be 15 to 30 minutes after abandonment. Now, this would just be your standard email reminder, simple reminder, no discounts, no offers. This is just for people who have simply forgotten, and this was one of the best performing emails. So if I had started offering a discount on this email, it wouldn't have been needed. People just need a reminder, people forget. But 15 to 30 minutes, this is just enough time for them to finish whatever they were doing, get back on the phone, get back on your website and make a purchase. Second email, now this would be a reminder with urgency. So again, we've not done any discounts yet. Simple reminder, but you're saying something like, sizes are selling out, stock is selling fast, order now to receive before X. We haven't got many left of this size. This is one of our best sellers. Urgency, you're trying to make some urgency. Now, I want to be very clear, within these emails, we have testimonials, we have information about shipping times, we have returns policy information. And if you are wanting a real gem expert tip, you need to find your USP. What is the thing that your brand or product does in the market different to everybody else? When you find that, that is what you're going to want to include in all of your marketing, on your web pages, on emails, everywhere. Right, now this doesn't necessarily have to be something like sizing. You know, maybe you're selling a pair of pants and the fit is a certain type of fit that you can't get anywhere. I don't know. You know, let's say you're selling Rolexes. You might want to have an authenticity guarantee. That might be your USP. That might be your market pain point that you're trying to fix. So it's not necessarily the product you sell, but it could be something that makes the purchase better. So that's something you've got to bear in mind. Try and find your USP and include that into your emails. That's what I had in mind. Now, the third email this is when we start discounting 10% off. So how about 10% off? And I want to just be clear, there's 1 to 2 day delay in each of these. But play around with that. All this has to be tested. I can't tell you the best for your websites. I don't know what you're selling, and it's different for every single website, and you only get the proper information after testing, right? Now, this is just 10% off. Here you go. How about this? How would this help? You're going to convert a lot of people with this. A lot of people, right? And it also just gives you an excuse to message them again. That's what you got to think. Like, each of these emails are different, right? They're all pretty similar, but each message is different. So you've sort of got an excuse to reach out to them, right? You're not sending them the same email all the time. They're not really getting annoyed by it. Now, the fourth email is 10% off discount. Again, with urgency. Your offer is not lasting for long. Take the 10% off. You will not be able to get it again. It lasts 24 hours. And if you set up a dynamic discount, you will be having a short amount of time for it. Anyway, fifth email, payment options and contact us. Look, I've done this before where it's been like a written out email. So it looks like an actual email from someone, like typed out. And I'll basically be including in this email, contact us, customer support, and then multiple payment options. And the payment options being buy now, pay later, Klarna, Clear Pay Lay-by, PayPal Finance, all of those. Now, the reason why you want to do those is because people only have to pay a little bit up front. It might not be appropriate for all websites, but it's something strong that you can use in your marketing, and it's something you can really hone in on when it comes to stuff like this. Because a lot of times people just don't want to spend the money, right? If they have to spend a little bit of money, people still do it, right? And the contact us is very strong. If you let customers reach out, hi, is there any questions you have about this, by the way? You know, reach out personally or any questions you need to have, frequently asked questions, this type of thing, because sometimes people just want to ask a question, you haven't answered it yet in your marketing, they might just send you an email, you might just get a few purchases like that, but 5 emails, I love this. If you have an idea to put 6 on, test it. Put 10 on, put 100, no, I'm only joking, but look, don't be scared to put 5 emails. It's going to be over a few days, spread out, and they've signed up for it, they've left in a abandoned cart, right? Now that is not all. Now we've been able to account for the distractions, last minute objections, but how do we convert the thousands of other potential buyers and visitors that sign up to our email and visit our site every single day? This is only half of the equation. Look, if you're getting excited by this, right, you're going to have your conversion rate go up by now. You're going to be making a lot more sales and you're going to be having people a lot more invested into your brand. But how do you target the rest of the people on the list? Because what about if you haven't signed up to the email, or you signed up to the email 6 months ago, didn't buy anything, and you haven't left an abandoned checkout? Now what do? Well, you can actually target those people in a very structured way with a very specific message. Now, understanding the difference between nurture and direct response is going to be one of the main driving factors in your email marketing success. Now, the key to understanding this is building a strong customer relationship. It's super essential for your brand because you don't want to be seen as one of these guys that's just buy. You have to offer value and nurture your audience into buyers, right? If you're just asking for stuff off of people, they're going to be less likely to purchase, right? This is not what people want. So remember, these are people, human beings reading the emails. People seem to forget about this. They just focus on numbers and conversions and try and drive conversions. But these are human beings reading them. So you have to appeal to human beings. These are not robots. I know you see the number on the screen and it's like a robot, but you have to remember, this is a human being reading the emails. So if you're just asking for stuff all the time, it's not going to go as well. People don't like that, right? So you've got to include information in your flows and email campaigns that educates your customer on your brand, gives customer value with brand news, i.e. what you're up to. So I'll give you an example. You know, a brand that I'm a part of now recently had done a collab with Solomon, the brand, the walking brand. And that was an email that we sent out to the inbox because you start giving the customers, like we did a giveaway with this big company that you probably like. You probably want to know about the giveaway. You can follow us on social media from it, and you might be able to get involved in it next time, or you might be involved in it already from the email. So that's giving actual value to the customer. Now that's not a conversion email. We didn't send that out expecting to make sales. You're not going to make sales off that. It's not a conversion email. You're not selling anything. But you're nurturing the audience, you're seeing value, you know, you're using stuff like social proof as well. So that audience now looks at you next to that massive brand that we've collabed with, and they look at you in a higher level. You've given them something in the form of a discount or a chance to win a pair, and you've added value to that customer and you've not asked for anything. So that's a perfect example of a nurture email. And also, you can educate on the problem that your product solves. So I know that there is a lot of, maybe like a filtered water bottle, right? You might want to be offering information about tap water, how it's bad for you, how the filter helps, what you can do at home. You can add a lot of value if the product solves a problem, right? This is how you have to approach email marketing. This is how you nurture your list, and it's an essential part of preparing them for the direct response part, okay? Now, direct response is when you want them to, directly respond. Now, what you want them to do is respond with putting their money into your bank account. That's the response we're after, okay? Now, this is best used with an offer, a new product drop, and just be super crystal clear with what you want people to do. So this is a conversion email. You're sending out an email and you want them to directly respond to that email. Ask them, click below, buy here, shop now. These type of words, this is the wording that you want to be using. Idiot-proof everything you send out, make it crystal clear on what you want. But if you've nurtured the audience and they're looking at you like someone who's on their side and providing value and information, when it comes time to ask them for something, direct response, they'll feel inclined to do it. The law of reciprocity. So understanding this concept allows us to split the emails into two categories to best cater for each customer journey. Now, when we combine this with specific targeting, you can speak directly to customer needs and emotions. When this is done correctly, you can consistently craft messages that generate predictable revenue. That's a lot of big words, right? Now, what that means is you've got a list of people, you can make an email, send it to that list, and you will get money back. And you can consistently do that. Imagine having 1,000 contacts on your phone and you send a text message out every two every week and you get money back. That is what this is essentially, with a few more steps. But when you have a list of people and you know how to craft a message and that audience is primed to purchase from you, you have the ability to tap into that list to generate money straight away. Predictably, right? You can have a good idea of, if I send those people a message, I will get money back. And it's not unlimited, like you can't do it 1,000 times a day, but you can do it quite consistently. And when you've got a big sale, you know you can make some sales. So ask yourself, would you rather sell a sandwich to a busy man at lunchtime outside an office building, or just sell a sandwich to anyone walking by after lunch is over? Well, this just demonstrates the power of what I'm about to share with you now. This is the power of email. You can target customers based on habits that dramatically increase conversions. Just think, if you're targeting a guy who's just finished work and it's at lunchtime, right? And you know he's hungry because he's just got out of the office and he's there every day, he's going to have a better chance at selling than just some random person walking by. You don't know if they've finished work, it's past lunchtime. What are you going to have a better chance at selling at? Now, this is what you can do with email. You can target people based on habits, and you can make judgments on whether those people are going to purchase or not, right? This is the power of segmentation when done properly. Mailing segmentation. Look, do not get too carried away with this. Something you want to bear in mind with segmentation, you don't need all these advanced segmentations before you've even got your bread and butter flows set up. Abandon checkout. If no one's signing up to your email and you've not got a pop-up, or the pop-up's not good, then you don't need to be worrying about segmentation, right? Just get that done first. It's like, what are you doing if you're not focusing on that? So get that done first. This is just a little bit of icing on the cake, right? So the thing that you got to understand with segmentation is lists are static, meaning they grow as people subscribe or are manually added. Now, segments, on the other hand, are dynamic, meaning they grow as people meet the segment's conditions and shrink as people no longer meet them. Simply put, you're grouping people together based on their shopping habits. Now, to create segments, you want to go to Klaviyo, audience and lists and segments, and you will have the option to do so there. So this is one of the most important segments, recent buyers. Look, I'm going to give you the most important segments that you can get the most cash out of right now. This is what you want to be using. So this is the recent buyers in the past 30 days, what someone has done or not done, ordered a product at least once in the last 30 days. These are guys involved in your brand. These are guys consistently shopping with you. These are guys that have shown recent interest, hot customers. You're going to have a good chance of selling to these guys again. They're going to have a good chance of returning if it all went well. And they're going to have a good chance of opening emails for you to warm your list up as well. This is another thing with segmentation. You can use it to target people who are the most likely to open your emails. So if you have a small deliverability and you're getting a lot of spam, what you want to use is targeted segmentation to get yourself out of that spam. And that's just a little side note anyway. Now, the important segment 2, this is inactive people. People who haven't opened an email in the last 120 days. What someone has done or not done, opened email at least once in the last 120 days. These guys are not interacting with your brand. Maybe you want to group them all together, send them one final reactivation offer. If they don't do that, get them off your list, because you're paying for these guys. They're not opening your emails, they're affecting your deliverability, and they're not buying anything anyway. 120 days is a long time. They're not your customers anymore. People come and go off your list. It's not a big issue. It's part of the game. Just make your list clean and it'll be better overall. Now, the important segment 3 is active openers. Now, this is people who have recently clicked the email in the past 60 days. Again, what someone has done or not done, clicked email at least once in the last 60 days, or what someone has not done, opened the email at least once in the last 60 days. Now, you might be thinking those two sound similar. That's just a little bit of overkill to make sure that Klaviyo picks everything up. And you want to have another condition, and that's an and condition, what someone has done or not done, bounced emails 0 times, overall time. So you're not targeting those people who have bounced the email, they've not received the email, they've not opened it. So yeah, that's what you're trying to avoid. But these are people who are clicking the emails. Now, if someone's clicking the emails and reading the emails, but they've not purchased, they can have a good chance of buying. There might just be a little reason why they've not bought. So you maybe just need to show them the message a few more times. So that's another lowest hanging fruit option that you can target right there. Now, don't be overwhelmed. Just focus on what I'm about to share with you next. I know this might be a lot, but look, if you need to go back and rewatch this video and pause it at any time, you can do that. It's no problem. Easy work. So these are the email commandments. Follow these and you will see success in email marketing. So always be A/B testing. Never A/B test more than one component at a time. You want to focus on the benefits and not features. Benefits being what does it do for the customer, not what does it do anyway, right? People buy on benefits. People want to know what the product does for them. That's why people buy. Do not send blast emails to your whole list. Use the segmentation that I've just shared with you. Maybe you want to make a few more segments. You can target your message based on the customer shopping habits. Maybe, like, for example, you've got a VIP list of customers who have shopped 3, 4, 5 times. You want to send those guys a little discount for a new product drop. You want to have it just an email only discount just for those people. That's what you can do with emails. And you're going to more likely see more revenue from them rather than 5,000 unactive people on your list. So and there might only be 20 people in that list. That's how you really want to think about it, right? That's the power of segmentation. Do you want to send to 20 people who are targeted or 5,000 who are not going to buy anything? Well, I'd choose the 20 that are targeted. That's how you got to think about segmentation. Now, this is a massive point again that I said previously. Simplicity with the correct info beats design that's unclear. Simplicity with the correct info beats design that is unclear. Do not over-design your emails. Keep them clear, straight to the point, simplicity, study a little bit of copywriting, and you're going to have a good time with your emails. Speaking your customer lingo, this is a little hack. People don't want to feel like they're being sold to. They don't want to feel like you're this big corporation. If you're some young guys or girls running a brand, if you're running a makeup brand and you're a girl, we'll say, sign up for the email, hun. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you can speak as your customers speak. That's something you got to remember. And they will feel more inclined to shop with you if they feel like you're one of them, right? Now, again, send 2 to 3 email campaigns per week. If you're looking for campaign ideas, we've got Christmas, Halloween, New Year, Black Friday, we've got people's birthdays, we've got Easter, we've got Eid, we've got any sale that you want to do, new product drops, bundle deals, information about your company, what the company's been up to, a charity event, where you've been, collaborations. There's all sorts of things that you can do for campaigns. If you are sat wondering what campaigns to make, I'm probably going to drop a video on this actually, so subscribe to the channel if you want to see that. Look, send 2 to 3 a week, keep that list warm, but send it to targeted segments, right? You want to keep those customers engaged. Now, if you don't know what A/B testing is, I know I just said that on the previous slide, but the point of A/B testing is to test one variable next to another. This is the golden rule of A/B testing. Only test one variable at a time. The point of this is to see a clear winner. Now, the parts of an email you should test is things like call to action button text. So again, remember we were saying sign up versus I love saving cash? That might be something that you want to test. Open rate. Well, what is your open rate? Are you looking at it and it's low? Then you might want to test a new headline to see if that can increase the open rate. That's the point of the test, right? But just test one thing at a time so you know what it is. Offers, you might want to test percentage off offers, discount money off offers. You might want to test buy one, get one free, buy one, get one half off. Test your offers with your audiences. You want to test your text and design, your copywriting, how are you speaking to people? Are you using a customer's name in the headline? Are you using a customer's name in the emails? Make it more customized, personalized. You want to test the number of emails in each flow. You want to test the number of email campaigns to see if it affects deliverability. Email content, images, colors, blah, 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 blah. There's all sorts you can do, but always be testing. Now, A/B testing doesn't stand for always be testing, but it's the same thing, right? Always be testing and you'll have success in email. Congratulations, you are now equipped to take advantage of the highest form of marketing that there is. I wish young Theo watched this video back in 2020. I would have made a lot more money, much more quicker. But now you are an expert email marketer. Thank me. Thank me in the comments. Say thank you, Theo, for all your hard work in this video. No, I'm not joking. But look, guys, that's the basics of it. I hope you found some value in that. If you implement the things in this video, take some time, watch over it, screenshot what you need to, pause it. I'll probably put some timestamp down below. And look, if you use those things, you're going to see success in email. If you're not using email at all now and you've got an e-com brand, even doing a little bit of money, you're going to make some money off this video, and I can't wait for that. Like, just one thing, if you make some money off it, comment down below and send me 20%. That's what you need to do. Right, all the best, guys. Subscribe to the channel.